appearance on the program, host of the Independent Americans podcast, also the founder of American Veterans for Ukraine. I'm going to go through these topics one by one, starting, Paul, with Ukraine. To me, at the end of this, all the back and forth, it's going to come down probably to whether the Ukrainians are willing to give up land that they don't want to give up, say part of or all of the Donbas region, and the Americans and everybody else says, do that and we'll give you a real security guarantee. How do you see it?
I don't know if I see it the same way, Connell. Honestly, it's going to come down to whether or not Putin stops. I mean, even when they have a so-called ceasefire, even when Trump reached out personally and got a personal assurance from Putin, they kept bombing Ukrainian civilians. Putin can't be trusted. Putin can't be dealt with like a normal diplomat in a normal type of negotiation. He continues to be all gas and no brakes, and there's nothing slowing him down except force. So I think it's interesting to see Lindsey Graham today say that he would support giving the Ukrainians Tomahawks. We should give them Tomahawks. We should give them everything they need, because I think the path to peace goes through Putin pulling out, Putin being defeated and getting increased pressure internally. But we can't just appease him and give him a part of Ukraine because he continues to bomb civilians and blow off Trump. I think it's a defining moment for Trump here. If he wants to get a peace agreement, that's one thing. He may not get a peace agreement. He may have to punish Russia further in order to really advance not just Ukrainian interests, but American interests.
He's also dealing with Iran at the same time, which is one of the other topics that I wanted to touch on with you. There have been reports today, like Axios had a report, that the talks with the Iranians are kind of falling apart before they even begin. And then Marco Rubio, who you just heard from talking about Ukraine, made some comments about Iran as well. Here's Secretary Rubio.
I think the Iranians had agreed to a certain format. For whatever reason, it's changed in their system or what have you. We'll see if we can get back to the right place. But the United States is prepared to meet with them. I think it was scheduled for Friday. Steve is ready to go. He'll be prepared for that. If the Iranians want to meet, we're ready. They've expressed an interest in meeting and talking. If they change their mind, we're fine with that too. We prefer to meet and talk. I'm not sure you can reach a deal with these guys, but we're going to try to find out.
No, it doesn't sound great, Paul. That last part, I'm not sure you can reach a deal with these guys. And again, to go back to what I said earlier, reports that the talks may be falling apart. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk and no peace and just more and more war. I mean, yesterday, noteworthy, too, that an American fighter plane shot down an Iranian drone that was threatening one of our battleships in the Gulf region. So, the tensions continue to go up. The Iranians, again, like the Russians, continue to push, continue to probe, continue to instigate. And we're going to have to figure out if there is a chance of peace here. We should always negotiate for it. But at the same time, there continue to be military operations that undermine the peace. And you're not dealing with good actors here. I mean, you're dealing with a brutal Iranian regime that just slaughtered thousands of people. You're dealing with, I would argue, a war criminal in Putin who continues to kill women and children. We can't deal with them like we normally would at the UN. Sometimes these people do respond to force, and if we can array a full allied nation state, a group of people together, like through NATO, then we can really put the increased pressure on them. But Iran's a bad actor, Russia's a bad actor, and it doesn't look like that's going to change.
I said this would be rapid fire this week, Paul. This is the final thing. I just want to get this in because we're talking about Minnesota and Tom Homan earlier. I know on your podcast, which, by the way, runs daily now, give Paul's podcast to plug, the Independent Americans podcast, you have Jesse Ventura on, right? I think independents, I think Paul Rieckhoff. A lot of people think Jesse Ventura. But talk to us about that a little bit and that situation on the ground in his home state of Minnesota. He's made some provocative comments.
Yeah, and he's made a couple more. We're going to drop my exclusive conversation with him in just a couple of hours. It's about an hour long, and he makes some headlines. He is not holding back. He's not ruling out running for governor. He's not running out for senator, but he's also pushing back hard on ICE, like so many people from all different political backgrounds. Even with ICE saying they're going to pull out 700 people from Minneapolis, I don't think Jesse or anyone else think that there's going to be an immediate peace there. And I think we all should be concerned that they might be pulling back in Minneapolis, but they're continuing to push in to places like Portland and Utah and Arizona. So it may be a temporary lull in Minneapolis, but this is a hornet's nest that's been kicked over, and people of all backgrounds in Minneapolis are pushing back. And Jesse Ventura is leading the way. People got to remember he won as a governor before, and he might be able to win again.
Right. Be worth listening to or watching wherever you get your podcast. By the way, on a lighter note, I'm happy you got the artwork I sent over for your kitchen and you put it up behind you for the interview today. I think it looks great, and I worked a long time on that. So that's good stuff.
Absolutely. My kid drew this one especially for you. My son drew this especially for you.
It's good. Looks good, my friend. We'll see you in studio next week, I hope.